a lot of people look at us like, you know, if Africans were so great, if Africans were A, B, C, D, E, F, G, how did these foreigners come in and do what they did from a physical perspective?
It's the questions, it's the questions, boy, it's the questions, it's the questions, come on, the questions, it's the questions, boy, it's the questions, it's the questions, yeah, the questions, it's the questions, y'all, it's the questions, it's the questions, dig it.
See what had happened at first was, see, at first I was at the game, but then a sniper came.
It was some infighting in Africa. It was some infighting in Africa. It was some infighting in Africa. But when you look at what happened to Africa, this was a kick, though. This wasn't just because it didn't make no difference. I mean, are we to demonize ourselves to the point that we would believe Africa would be so ignorant and so stupid from North? They took over the whole fucking continent. So that they didn't give a fuck what was going on in Africa, whether it was peace, whether it was brother against brother. When them crackers left Europe, before they got off the table of discussion, they already knew what the fuck they was coming for, what they wanted. The Jews, they all that shit. And they didn't give a fuck. They came with everything that they could throw at Africa. So we got to quit blaming this shit on ourselves.
Amen is a war deity. You see him with the kopeish in his hand, which is the sickle of death, which all kings took into battle with them. And it was the most feared sword in the ancient world. This is what the Arab took to make his sword with the sickle that is made for the severing of heads. Amen is a war deity. You see him with the kopeish in his hand, which is the sickle of death, which all kings took into battle with them. And it was the most feared sword in the ancient world. This is what the Arab took to make his sword with the sickle that is made for the severing of heads. Amen is a war deity. So when one calls on Amen, he calls for war. So when you thought you were saying Amen meaning so be it, you was calling on war. But what kind of war, black man? What kind of war are you calling on? We're very, very clear what Amen represented.
Please.
Here you see Second Imre, 1574 BC, gave his life to free Kemet from the Hyksos. Gave his life. And you see the damage that was done to his skull. He didn't give a damn. He didn't give a damn about the odds. He knew that the freedom of Kemet is not an option. He knows that the freedom of his people is not an option.
See what had happened?
Were facts challenged?
Here you see the warrior crown, the war crown that is worn by the sultans. They ain't playing no game. They got every facet of concepts in their daily living, including war. Including war.
Please.
They got every facet of concepts in their daily living, including war. Including war. They got every facet of concepts in their daily living, including war. Including war.
Were facts challenged?
This is not an option for a nation. A nation must step up and defend itself at all costs.
The average black person in America, from my perspective, I can't even say what the average black person in America thinks or doesn't think anymore, because things are so varied now. There's so many things out there for so many of us to plug into. I do think the one thing that we do share collectively is that we as a people are fact challenged. Was that the term that I used before? Fact challenged, because that's the term that constantly rolls through my head and through my mind. We're fact challenged.
Here's Sultan Tutmosis III with his enemy's hair in his hand as he takes his mace up in the air and prepares to bring it down upon their skull, cracking their skulls, killing them instantly. This is a real black man. This is a real Sultan. This was left for our people to always look upon the walls and say, this is who you are, black man. When you lose yourself, look back up on the walls. Look what your ancestors left for you. To always remember that this is your true nature.